Lindsey Graham, in case you don't know who that is and why this is important, has controlled a Republican seat in South Carolina, I believe, for 125 years. What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here, just getting back from Cleveland, and bro.
All right, everybody, wow. We just got some wild and unexpected news in the middle of the night. 71-year-old Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina has suddenly and officially been pronounced dead via his own social media accounts, citing a brief and sudden illness. This is only 24 hours after Senator Lindsey Graham was in Ukraine. He had just traveled back to the United States and has now died due to a brief and sudden illness. Don't get this mixed up with Senator Mitch McConnell from Kentucky, who has also not been seen for 25 days. He has been hospitalized. And when I saw this post from Senator Lindsey Graham, I rubbed my eyes for a second because I thought I was reading something about McConnell. I was confused, but the fact of the reality is Lindsey Graham has now passed away. The statement from the office of the U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina says this: the office of U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham released the following statement. On the evening of Saturday, July 11th, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham passed away from a brief and sudden illness. Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time and asks for privacy during this difficult period.
Wow. I'm gonna have to do more. I'm gonna have to do more to make sure that I actually get the full context of this. We're going to wait for news to come out on Sunday the best I can, but this is one of the most credible sources that I know. And not just that, the responses I'm going to show you also help solidify my belief. Now, I didn't even have time to put my tie and my jacket on, but I will say this. Lindsey Graham, in case you don't know who that is and why this is important, has controlled a Republican seat in South Carolina, I believe, for 125 years.
Graham was first elected to the House in 1994 and the Senate in 2002 and was running for re-election this year. He'll likely be replaced. Somebody else will step in the race. Somebody else will launch a campaign in South Carolina and fill that gap.
And every single one of those years, he's made more and more and more money off of war. Now, I've never seen an instrument of war or bubbles that this guy hasn't backed fully. I haven't seen an instrument of war or pink bubbles in Disneyland that this guy hasn't endorsed fully and made money from. That's why you got this response quickly.
Now, within minutes of this post going out at 1:02 a.m. Central Time, we got a post from Ben-Gvir, one of the foreign ministers of Israel, one of the most despicable war criminals out there, and this is just not a good direction. He says, today, Israel has lost one of its greatest friends. Lord have mercy. Senator Lindsey Graham stood with Israel, not because it was easy, but because he believed it was right. His unwavering support, courage, and moral clarity earned him the admiration of millions of Israelis. The state of Israel will always remember his friendship, his unwavering support, and his steadfast commitment to Israel's security. Heartfelt condolences to his family and the American people. May his memory be a blessing. Ben-Gvir is not exactly the first person you want eulogizing you what happened, but just take a look at this clip of Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina.
I'm not looking for a fair fight. If we get in a fight, I want to win it. I want to win it quick. I'm in Miami. You see this hat? Free Cuba. Stay tuned. The liberation of Cuba is upon us. It's just a matter of time now. You see this hat? Make Iran great. President Trump said the only way to make Iran great is for the people to take over. We're marching through the world. We're cleaning out the bad guys. We're going to have relationships with new people that will make us prosperous and safe. I've never seen anybody like it.
This guy said we're marching through the world. He had plans for world domination, basically.
Yeah, that's right. He's 100% correct. There was never a war too much, too big, too far that Lindsey Graham wasn't all for. Gung-ho. He used to have kind of a mixed bag because he really has absolutely no core value whatsoever. But he was smart enough to see that Donald Trump would ruin his party and poke holes in the facade of decency in the Republican Party. And he knew that instinctively.
He has said openly, repeatedly, that he believes that most illegal immigrants are drug dealers and rapists, and there may be a few among them that are decent people. After 10 years of working on illegal immigration, I've come to conclude that most illegal immigrants are decent, hardworking people, and some are criminals. This is a defining moment for the Republican Party. We need to reject this. To all the candidates who think that Donald Trump is telling the truth, I think you've lost your way. That all the 11 million illegal immigrants, for the most part, are rapists and drug dealers is not only offensive at every level, you're telling the Hispanic community who are friends, neighbors, and relatives of the illegal immigrant population exactly what we think of you.
Here's what will not happen. Donald Trump is not going to be the nominee of the Republican Party. If he is, that's the end of the Republican Party. Because what he is doing
If he is, what do you do?
Well, then we'll lose. We'll lose, and we should lose.
He knew that the only way he could get away with the war profiteering that he's been doing for so long was to keep this veneer of decency, cordiality, Christianity, all the bull that they don't believe in. But very shortly after he said that Trump would ruin his party and it's the worst thing they've ever done, very shortly after Trump became the president, this guy changed his tune. And the first thing he fell in love with was the war.
But even a month ago, Donald Trump himself said, quote, "He's outstanding. He's been at my side for a long time," Trump said in a tele-rally for Graham last month, acknowledging that the two men had dueled for the 2016 Republican presidential nomination. After that fight was over, we were the best of friends, and he's helped me as much as anybody in the Senate.
He started drinking more. I don't know if you guys know, but all this is going to come out tomorrow. I'm going to, I don't have all the clips. This just happened. Literally, it is 4 o'clock a.m. 4 o'clock a.m. in Washington, D.C. And this just was announced maybe 40 minutes ago. Wow. But I'll show you more clips. But the dude resigned himself to the idea that we're finished. The Republican Party is done. I'm going to get as much money out of this as I possibly can. And he started drinking himself to death every night as a way to deal with the reality of what he has done.
I want sanctuary city policy to end. I want sanctuary city policy to end.
These are all just my opinions on his actions as they pertain to our country as an elected official, not my opinion on his death. I'll let others do that. Yeah. So that's new. South Carolina, stand up. Maybe you can make up for Graham Plattner being gone by putting in a Democrat here. I don't know. Condolences to his family.
Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're going to pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads, it's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works.